welcome to everybody. I'll give a few seconds for them to filter into the room. I saw there were a lot of guys in the waiting room, and you guys will be, you're flowing in. I love it. We had some pretty good registration numbers on this, and we're super excited to go over this. That's our entry slide. This is who is going to be talking, and we've got a lot to go over. And first, I want to thank each of our panelists. Uh, Morgan's getting paid for this because we work in the same place, so maybe I don't have to thank her. But the others are doing this out of the gratis of their own heart and to show you that we think we know a thing or two about productive or well thought out and executed direct mail campaigns. But we're going to add a little fun to this. We're going to make it a little interactive. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to go over some mail pieces, and before our experts chime in and tear it apart or build it up or say whatever they're going to say, we're going to show you the mail piece and we're going to push a poll to you. It's mail it or fail it. All right. And you guys are going to choose. And then we're going to give a few seconds or a minute to let those surveys roll in. And we're just going to go around the experts and have them comment on what they think. And then Morgan's going to kind of take you in some of these things. I think we do have some results on that can back up what we're saying, or we're not sharing any results due to privacy and security. Remind me here.
We'll share two campaigns where we do have some results data at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's a touchy issue when you ask clients if we can share results. They don't want to give away any secrets to their competitors. I guess all of us in direct mail have experienced this, and it's honestly one of the toughest things when people say, "Hey, so give us a case study, give us, this or that," and it's not something we can easily answer. So we're going to go over what we've learned from our probably cumulative, and I don't want to date anybody here, but I'm going to say 50, 60, 70 years of direct mail experience. We will not put it in any one corner of any particular person here, but I think we've got a pretty seasoned board and we will get right to it. I'm going to start by announcing or introducing each of you, and I would appreciate if you guys give a little 30 seconds on what you do. I'll start with myself. Brent Kugler. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Direct Mail 2.0. We've also acquired Who's Mailing What. We have a new brand starting next month, Direct Mail 2.0.ai, which will tease you a little bit at the end. And that's what I've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years. Morgan, what do you do?
I'm Morgan DiGiorgio. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Direct Mail 2.0 and Who's Mailing What. And collectively, our sole purpose is to make direct mail the most effective form of marketing by integrating it with cutting edge technology. We do have a 15 technology omnichannel marketing platform that integrates into direct mail campaigns to lift the response rate on average about 23 to 46%. And we also provide real-time results in a reporting dashboard so that you can dive into the reporting data of mail campaigns, see what's working, what's not, and utilize that data and leverage it to continuously improve direct mail campaigns. And I just want to say that, we're not here on this webinar positioning ourselves and clouding our expert opinions, but I think that collectively we all care about direct mail as a marketing channel and the efficacy of it. And if we can lend any value into how we can improve that channel through our opinions and others, I think that that is a valuable resource that we can present today.
Thank you, Morgan. Mr. David Foley, please introduce yourself and do not be shy.
Hi, I'm David Foley. I'm a partner in Direct Mail Insiders, which is an online mastermind that helps marketing people and business owners who want to do direct mail, but they don't know what they don't know. And they're prepared to admit it, and we help them along the way get better results. It takes time, it takes patience, but in the end, I think it benefits everybody.
Thank you, David. And if I may be so bold as to ask, how many years of experience do you have in direct mail marketing?
On and off, probably 30 some odd.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your experience and thank you for bringing that to this panel. David from XMPie, tell us about what you do.
Hi, Brent. So David Baldaro, I'm the marketing manager for XMPie, global software organization. Been around for like over 2 decades now, helping organizations, print service providers, marketing service providers, and enterprises across the globe deliver personalized print, direct mail, um, web to print, omnichannel communications. We really strive between driving the digital form as well as the physical form in exactly the same way, in a very creative way. So I'm gonna come at this from a very creative perspective.
Thank you, and that is very much appreciated. And David, you're across the pond too, and I believe where are you calling in from or zooming in from at this?
I'm based in the UK. I've always been in the UK.
Excellent. And Brent from Lob, I think you're over the pond as well, correct?
This week I am. Yeah,
Okay.
usually I'm in sunny Iowa. But hi everyone. I'm Brent Hagan. I'm the Chief Supply Chain Officer at Lob. For those of you that don't know, Lob is a direct mail automation platform where our primary focus is on the enterprise level client and offer regionally based fulfillment and logistics to help you navigate your national campaigns.
Excellent, Brennan. Thank you for coming to us, for being on the road too. We really appreciate all of your opinions. I'm going to turn it over to Morgan to kind of kick it off. And Morgan, once you've shown the piece, I will open up to our audience a poll, and we're going to see what they think before we dive into it. All right?
All right, perfect. So before we get into our collaborative judging of these campaigns, uh, just want to talk about the anatomy of a successful direct mail campaign. There are some core elements that should be inclusive in a direct mail campaign. The offer, it must be enticing. Someone must find value in it and have the desire to act on it. The creative is probably one of the most fundamentally important pieces, and I'm looking very forward to hearing more about David's perspective and in his experience in that regard. The audience, we have to be marketing to the right people. You could have the most killer offer, the best creative and strong call to action, but if you're marketing to the wrong people, you'll never get a response. Call to action, why are they acting on it? Cause them to act now. And then the integration. So the days of utilizing or leveraging one channel are long gone. All marketers are typically leveraging multi-channel or omni-channel marketing. And the direct mail is such a core and foundational element in your marketing strategy. It's tangible, it impinges, it activates the long-term memory centers in the brain, and it causes an inclination to respond to other channels. And having some sort of seamless integration with your direct mail campaign or integrative elements on the direct mail piece that are facilitating a lead into your other channels is so imperative in today's marketing ecosystem. Now, 10 elements every postcard should have. I'm not going to go through and list all of these, but I just wanted to throw this up here. These are some of the things that at its core, we will be analyzing a direct mail piece, or from the audience's perspective, when you're looking at these direct mail campaigns, most I'm sure in the audience are joining us on this webinar today are in the direct mail profession in some regard and probably have good working knowledge of what these core elements are. So we'll be looking for the inclusion of or lack thereof of a lot of these core elements. But above and beyond that, there's a lot of things that can lend to a successful direct mail campaign that produces ROI on marketing spend. And we'll be expounding a lot further above and beyond these 10 elements. So our first direct mail campaign, this might be a little challenging. I think I'd like us, Rob, before we open up to the audience and we can review this, but I couldn't really put the front and back on a slide so that it could be easily viewable. So we've got one slide with the front of the mail piece for the audience's viewing pleasure. And then we also have the back of the mail piece here. So just take it all in for what it's worth here. And now, Brad, if you would like to
Here
open up.
it comes. Hopefully, you guys are seeing this and you can throw in your votes right now. What do you think of this piece? Amazing. Okay. You're going to have to, you only have two choices. You either mail it or fail it. So do not be shy. Throw a dart at the wall for all I care, at this.
I see a lot of comments. Hot mess, hurts my head, overwhelming.
I see it too. And I can tell you as the votes are coming in, 155, 156, we got overwhelming fail it score on this. Um, Honestly, at first glance, I would have to agree, but I'm going to hold my comments. I don't want to influence anybody. I'll give you guys another few seconds. You know, we're coming close to almost 200 voters on this, so I thank you guys for your participation. I love the comments, and this makes great fodder. And now I'm really even more excited to hear what our panelists say. I think that we're going to get some universal agreement on this, but I'm going to end the poll now and I will share you the results. Do you see them on the screen?
Sure do.
Okay.
8% mail it, 92% fail it.
That's a pretty overwhelming uh, vote cast on this piece. So Morgan, I'll let you decide who to start with. I'd have to say, if I wanted to chime in, this is just so busy and so all over the place. They're trying to put a catalog together and send it in, 4 square inches. That's my review. But
I mean,
I don't.
that's the overwhelming response of the audience, and why I picked this too, because I actually see this more often than not. A lot of times the industry that I see this leverage, this kind of tactic the most is in HVAC, heating and cooling. They like to put all of their different products and services, and there's just so much. And with direct mail, less is more. I can't even tell what's going on here. It's so overwhelming, so many price points, but what's the value that's being driven for me? I do see some key core elements that are good in engaging a response from somebody that may take enough time to look at this mail piece, right, to respond. But I definitely would not have put this into production. And I also wanted to actually say this too. So for everyone on the webinar today, I pulled all of these mail pieces out of our Who's Mailing What archive. So all of these mail pieces came out of our collection of mail that we have. And I think as a print and mail or service provider, if I was going through our collection and I came across this piece, I would see an opportunity here to potentially find the contact information in our database and reach out to this marketer or advertiser and talk to them how I can add more value or do
Great
this
point.
for them better.
I actually love that. I mean, this is,
Yeah,
you can go to this type of client and say, I'll give you a design for free if you'll take my call. This is what
right,
we, but
right.
let's hear from the other guys here. I don't,
Sure.
uh, David, I'll say David B and David F. Okay. David B, why don't you give us your feedback? I think it's pretty obvious on this.
I'm loving this. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just scrolling through the comments, and these are
Yeah,
gold.
yeah.
And
That is great. I wish we could make it all
and
public.
if everyone can't see it, I don't know if everybody can see everyone else's comments, but Jennifer Miller sums it up for me. You can't get an AC unit big enough to cover this hot mess.
That's fantastic.
I don't know where my eyes need to go first. I need sunglasses. They're going to bleed. I mean, I'm trying to hold the English reserve to this, but there's no niceties. And I guess for some ways, I mean, for me, it's about creative input, and there was clearly some creative input here, and the designer just didn't say no to the client when he came back and said, "We just fit one more unit on here, please." Um, it has to be creative. There's no relevancy unless you happen to know that I'm in an HVAC or that environment. It's not personalized. I don't know where to start, but no, just no, and thrice
Oh,
no.
hard no.
I mean, and in some ways, it reminds me, and having been in the industry for like so many years and talking to so many PSPs, there was a time, and 10 years ago plus, where you'd go to a printer's website and you would see their, unit list and their equipment list, and that was all it was. And this reminds me of the same thing. It's just a data dump of stuff that holds no relevancy to me or no way of really navigating it or seeing the value behind this piece.
I agree.
But yeah.
And for taking the fifth, we've obscured the name of the vendor or the company for obvious reasons. All right, Mr. David Foley, do you have a comment on this?
Oh, well, as everyone has said, this is a real mess. To Morgan's point, who do you mail this to? I could only come to three potential audiences: property managers, apartment owners, and commercial laundromats. And in fact, maybe the laundromat mailing needs to be a separate mailing. You take the HVAC mailing and you make it a mailing, and you do the commercial laundry and make it a separate mailing. So you can do some of the things that are so obviously missing from this piece, which is some information to help somebody make a decision beyond price.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Mr. Brent, people are already wanting to see the next one. I guess they like this. What do you have to say about this? Anything different, or maybe we'll
Yeah,
get
just a little bit different. It does seem like they may have taken this straight out of their catalog or something like that, put it on a 6x11, and shipped it out. There's a lack of personalization. Obviously, this feels like your standard, shotgun blast, spray and pray sort of campaign where they want to put as much stuff on a 6x11 or whatever as they possibly can. And so the lack of personalization, the part where I'll comment on what David Foley said was like I would find it unlikely that they had a target audience outside of someone who may possibly want an air conditioner when they were focused on that, and that's really where the campaign in of itself, they're going to look back from an attribution perspective and say like, DM's not performing for us. And it starts with this creative, in and of itself.
good. Yeah, I would agree. All right,
But
let's move on.
I do want to say this though. I do like how they have a unique URL to track attribution, right? They want them to go to this website /mailer if anybody responds. They do
You
have
can
a
weed
phone.
through this.
They
Yeah.
do have a phone number, for someone to call. So they didn't do it all wrong, and then it's covered up. But they do have a scan and save with a QR code here, but again, it's so buried in this here that it's really challenging to see those call to actions. Okay, next we
This
have
is it.
a credit card mailer.
Oh, this must be the back.
Well,
This is
it's a
self-made.
multi-part piece. Okay, multi-part piece. So they're talking about the offer and how to take advantage of the offer with guidance. And the last part of the offer.
So this has got 4 pages. It looks like it's a
It's
multi-fold in
3.
my case.
Yeah.
3. Oh, okay. So a trifold. All right, let's push this survey. I think that we've all seen stuff like this ourselves, so we can kind of get an idea of how it's packaged. This is flying in right now at 40 or 50 votes a second, coming up on 100 votes. Not as clear cut. In fact, it is definitely leaning one direction. Anybody of our panelists want to guess, or can you see the poll that I'm hosting now as it comes in? No? All right. I'll give it another few seconds. I'd like to know where you think this one's leaning. And Morgan, if you can flip through the pages just so people can see the different pages for the last few that need to vote. I'll give it another 15 seconds. Yeah. What do you guys think? You think this is going to be a mail it or fail it? I'm asking our panelists, so I will not say anything. Okay. David, what do you think?
I'm thinking no.
All right. Mr. David Foley, you got an opinion?
Yeah, I'd mail it. This looks very much like Capital One. They've been using this format for the last couple of years, and if they do it for a couple of years, given their testing, it's working.
Oh, someone made a good point. So it says roofing on here. So
Yeah, and so we're going to have a little challenge because I
was just doing them in order.
Well, I didn't realize this, but I made some changes to the deck after Michelle.
Okay. So we're going to have to remember the roofing one is the credit card.
I will recall. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm ending the poll and I'm sharing it. And surprisingly enough, the majority of people said mail it. And I think David hit the nail on the head. This is a known piece. I think we've all seen it. We all knew it was Capital One, even despite our efforts to mask that.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay. But I think that we know that because they've mailed this by the probably tens of millions at this point, we've all seen it. They must know something already that this thing works. So I'm going to shut up and I'll let whoever wants to comment. We will have to speed it up if we want to get through all
Yeah.
7 or 8 of these. So go ahead and make your comments. I know people like to vote, so we'll get.
No, I'm happy to go first. Uh, Lob works with Capital One a lot, not on the acquisition side, but often what you see here is like there's nothing I don't think fundamentally wrong with the mail piece itself outside of does it really need to be 3 pages? It looks like there's fairly redundant information in here. They're getting their call to action on multiple pages when it could be one. So outside of the fact like there's nothing physically wrong with the mail piece, it looks great to me. It's very easy, very clear call to action. Do you need to spend the money on a multi-page campaign like this when you could maybe fit that into a singular postcard?
Good. David Foley, did you have any other comments to make on this? I think you kind of nailed it with what you said.
No, let's just keep going.
All right, David
I mean,
Baldaro.
I just have to say that from my perspective, and I am confident that a mailer of this magnitude has ran some testing on specific offers to specific audiences and what performs well and what doesn't. But from my perspective, and this just goes to show how important your audience is and the offer, I don't really care about free credit monitoring. So if I were to receive a credit card offer and they told me that the value was free credit monitoring, I wouldn't respond to that. I want to know what your interest rate is and how is that going to outperform what I currently have and what other benefits do I get with this besides free credit monitoring. When they had that big data breach a while ago and got everybody's social, I just shut everything down. So I got offered free credit monitoring by everybody under the sun. So there's no value in this for me, or nothing like prompting me to respond, right? And then I will say this too, it does appear as if things are rather redundant, but I do feel that it is important to have your call to action be explicitly clear and provide a step-by-step instruction on exactly what you want somebody to do and exactly how you want them to do it so that you can ensure that you get the conversion. And so they do dive into that. I think it is overly abundantly clear how you respond to this credit card offer. And then they also even take it one step further here and say, if you don't have internet access, they're also giving you another way to respond. So they really cover all the bases here in how to respond to this offer if you see the value in it in the first place.
You pretty much summed up the reason why I said no, Morgan. The design is super clean. It's all there. It's what you'd expect. But I mean, I'm reading it and like, fraud liability, personalized account. There's nothing there that would entice me or give me a value to go and, I know when you say, see if you're pre-approved, you don't know if I'm pre-approved because you don't know who I am other than my name. So I'm going to have to put all the details in. So I'm going to have to look at the process. So I'm not pre-approved. I might get one, but that's only after I give you all my data. But there's no value here to drive me to that at all. What's the interest rates? What's the length? What's the value behind it? There is none.
Good.
And it's all about the audience, though. It's targeted to probably a specific person, but for me, I wouldn't respond. So, okay. Next.
Which one is this called? So I show the right.
Probably real estate.
Okay, good. We're gonna show both sides, and I'll launch the
Right.
survey.
We got this and this.
All right, keep showing them. The survey is on board. What do you guys think? I would keep flipping back and forth. I'll tell you, I would not have taken a picture of a house that needs a little pressure washing and put
Hello.
I mean, what the F?
I mean, it's mind-boggling that this was what
That would have been a real easy fix to whoever this realtor was. Man, oh man. Let's take the bad pressure washing mistake out.
Oh,
if the house was properly pressure washed, would you still vote the same way?
okay. Well, but I have more commentary on that because I can't take it out. I have some things to say about that. And whoever took this from their client and said, "Sure, we'll print this for you," you should be arrested, okay?
All right, let's see the back again, just so that we can see if those points of an ad are included and all the proper things. How do they contact? I mean, okay. All right. I think that we got what we're going to get out of this, and I will end this poll now. We got a couple hundred there. Share the results. It's a pretty hard no on this piece. You guys can see that, right? Anybody have any comments about this particular why it's a hard no? Something that's not obvious, like the pressure washing issue that I brought up?
Other than like the content, I mean, is the house for sale, or because there's no price there, there's no QR code for me to go and jump to see the property. But then on the back, the copy is like, do you know someone looking to buy in your area? Are you thinking of selling your house? What is the call? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Because am I supposed to be buying the house? Am I supposed to be selling my house? Am I supposed to be giving this to someone else? It's a bit muddy as to what its purpose is. Literally, just the photo on the house is just that.
I would agree 1,000%. I mean, us as print professionals, we have a responsibility to not just be like we are servers at McDonald's and take their order. You want repeat business, you want the
Mm.
customer to be successful. Don't accept something like this. Don't take their money when you know it's probably going to fail. It's missing some key points. Am I right? If I that would
Yeah,
be
I
my
mean that is my point, right? I just think that too often I see that a client will bring something to you and you have no consultative regard for the actual response rate of the piece. Why not put a little extra effort and care into this and say to your client, listen, can I print this and send it out for you? Absolutely. But I feel it would be beneficial and helpful if I can give you a few suggestions to how we might make this a more effective mail campaign for you.
A
And go
few or
above
a
and
lot.
beyond. And the irony, and this is the house and the picture and photography and real estate, and the tagline is freshened up and ready to move in.
nope. Well, there's the price
I
in like
just
6-point type right there. I see it
Yeah,
now.
it's there. It's just there's a lot wrong with this,
Yeah.
and it's not effective. There's so many different ways that you can add value in the real estate industry, and I also, to expound on what you were talking about, David, what is so beneficial about this agent in particular? Why do I want to work with you? Real estate is such a competitive space. So you just put this atrocious photography up here and then say, hey, are you looking to sell or buy? Well, why would I engage in business with you above all the other real estate experts in your area? And that would be something that would be more valuable to outline on a mail piece like this, in my
By
opinion.
the way, everybody should be reading the chat. There's some very spot on comments that I'm learning stuff from. Uh, Someone mentioned this is a great candidate for a map. Hey, where is this thing? You
Mm.
know, Someone's having the laugh of their day from this entire process so far. Great. We are here to entertain as we are to educate. But there's some great stuff in the comments, and I want to thank the audience here for chiming in. This is fun.
I
Okay.
think this, I think this is probably the advocacy, the fact that anybody can be a designer and you can design in anything because this is clearly not designed.
Yeah.
It's almost the candidate for being designed in PowerPoint. The OCD for me at the moment on that front page is just going off the scale. The image is like not aligned.
But
It's just
this must be a graphic
there's no
design
excuse.
nightmare, just OCD kicking in on all angles for sure. I agree. So, all right, let's move on to the next one.
Brent,
Um,
did you have anything to add, or do you feel we've covered it here?
Well, the only piece that's left for me is it feels ripe for an audience list, and really much more deliberate targeting, as well as all the camera comments and stuff that were the dirty house aside, even though someone's going to look at it and say like, what is this? And probably throw it away. that aside, I think a better targeted audience could perform a lot better because it certainly, as much as selling the house, the realtor is selling themselves in the bottom few sentences on the backside. This isn't the house in which I would think a realtor would want to sell themselves, on. So I think that's as much a reflection on them as it is the house.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yep. And the print provider that agreed to print it and send it. All right. Next one.
All right, let me find the right one. All right,
Maybe it's
show it to us, and then
yeah.
I'll launch the survey.
What do you got? Do you have one that says
I
need?
do. Nissan service.
All right. So here is the front of the mailer, and here is the back.
Is that a QR code underneath one of those
Yes.
masks?
So there, the company information and URL is here, and there's a QR code here, and then on the back there's also another QR code here.
Where's the QRs go? Do you know where the QR codes go, Morgan? Is it just to the website or?
It is actually to the service related website. But I like your point about where does it go? And then Brad and I were discussing something earlier as well about, and this has a lot to do with the integration. What's on that website when you land there, right?
Yeah.
Because we can have the most compelling offer and call to action and drive traffic to the website all day long, or drive phone calls into an organization until the cows come home. But if the website is terrible and people bounce as soon as they get there, or it doesn't have relevant content, or the salesperson on the other line of the phone it isn't good at what they're doing, then we can drive inbound leads, but there's a large part of conversion that lies on the other side of things. So
Yeah. And this one has something interesting. If you go to the other side, which I
yeah,
noticed,
the Ask Surrey.
yeah, ask Google or ask Siri or Alexa to
Yeah,
take you to there.
I like.
That's unique. That's a unique piece of technology I don't very often see. But all right, I'm going to end the survey. We've been going for about a minute and a half. This one is I would agree with the mail it. I definitely I like unique technology use. I like it's big. You know what's going on here. They're trying to sell you some service. They're giving you a nice discount. Let's see the other side again. It's to me this is not bad. There's a lot going on here, but it's the message comes across and what to do. That's my 2 cents. In the call to action, 20% off is enough to motivate people. Sometimes you see the 5 and the 10. 20% will get people off of their butts in most times.
Yeah, but at the same time, on the back, you know, I'm a loyal customer, and and so like for me, Mark's up because it's actually personalized. I think it's the first piece that we've seen that's actually contained, the relevance and the personalization of someone and the recipient. So thumbs up to that. Um, but so I'm a loyal customer. My car still needs attention. Don't quite know why. But you're going to give me money off for it anyway. It seems a bit like a loose offer. I would rather have something a bit more tangible, I guess, to it rather than just say his. It just looks a bit generic, but it's to me. So there's that. You've got my trust for the minute, but then it's a bit messy, and the call to action is 100% clear. I think when you've got something that's personalized, the call to action really should be very directive. And I think there's a point to be made about QR codes, certainly today, in that when you put a QR code on a mailer, you have to be very clear because I think people are becoming more consciously aware as to scanning on QR codes because there's been a lot of, duping or taking you off. You don't know where it's going to go. You don't know where it's going to take you or what's going to happen when you scan that QR code. So I think you have to develop that trust and you have to convince them that what they're going to scan is going to be valuable. I would probably still mail it because it's nicely designed, it's personalized, but I would still probably go back and say, look, you could do better in this.
I agree. Most of the comments I'm reading, personalization, too wordy, which I agree with. I don't trust QR codes. I think most of us are past that at this point. anyways, I've talked too much. I'll let you guys talk.
Well, I think it's great that you think about the integrated technology promotion. I think a few referenced that in the USPS. So kudos to them. Kudos to the printer who hopefully worked with them on that promotion and hitting that calendar item. I've seen the personalization call outs. Am I missing the name somewhere? The person's name? Oh,
So
It's
Mark,
small.
there it is. Yes.
That's right.
It's
Very
small, but it's
small.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think, preferably it probably would have said thank you, Mark, for being a
Mm.
loyal customer. You know what I mean? Like that really shouts out.
Cool.
It's the largest font
It
that's
needs
there. I think that,
another exclamation mark. Thank you, Mark!
Yeah, it should
Exclamation
be
mark.
bigger. I agree.
yeah,
I
that's
like the
that's right.
personalization, but misplaced and under obvious. I didn't even say that. My eyes went right to the Google, Siri, and Alexa. I didn't even see the name.
Yeah, no, mine was the exact same. The exact same.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think it definitely has some very good core elements to it, but it needs improvement, right? And it's very obvious that they were just including some things to include them, to take advantage of the postal promotion, but there could be a better use case and placement of them. I also like, and you wouldn't know this because I blocked it out because I'm blocking out company names, but this is a cross promotional piece. So this company here, offering the flexible payment plans is a financing company. So we've got some cross promotion, but yes, I would more veer towards the personalization on the front here. This would probably be on the back. It would be more addressed to Mark here. Someone also made a good point and how they could deepen the personalization of this piece. Is that a picture of their actual vehicle or a personalized offer tied to the odometer reading on their car? There's always ways that we can take something that's effective and improve it even further.
Well,
Right.
Morgan, you just hit on the head what I was going to say. If you take the other side of the card, you have that your vehicle still needs attention, that graphic. That doesn't belong there. And David B., I'm not a designer, but I would take that panel,
Mm.
20% off, and I would identify what service needs to be done because chances are it's in the CRM at the
Right.
service department.
True.
Every time I take my car in for service, I get a printed report that tells me all the things I need to have done. I know they have the data. Brent, you know they can pull the data, make it variable fields, and identify it on the postcard because they may have been reminded in the past that by the way you need your brakes done. Just as an example. So here's a reminder of that, and all they're doing is they're having a sale because the service bay isn't working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week like they'd like it to because it's the
Mhm.
most profitable part of the car dealership.
Very good. Great comments. Great comments in the chat. A lot of good information being shared. All right, which one is this? So I get the right poll up.
Well,
Let's see the other
part
side.
of the reason I picked it is because I wanted it to be
Oh,
a mystery, as I'm sure it is to everyone else what this is.
I can
But it's
tell.
probably college, yeah.
All right, the survey is up. Let's keep circulating between the front and the back. Obviously, if the name panels weren't obscured, it'd probably be easier to tell. Um, it's
Yeah, or maybe if there was a relevant creative, it might be easier to tell. I don't know.
is this a well-known university that the name is recognizable?
No,
Nope.
not really.
No.
No.
Find your place here. I would think it's a campground. And then we go to the next side. Campus visits are a great way to explore college options. Tour, blah, Kane campus, see everything we have to offer. It's just a big old wide net being cast. Hopefully
Right.
they're targeting the right people. Um, I may break with the most people here that are voting, and I'm gonna give it another 20, 30 seconds. But this thing is definitely leaning one way as hard as the first one. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna end the poll now. It looks like we've gotten most of the people, and I'm gonna share it. And I'm gonna just say I would mail it. I am a sucker for clean, simple postcards. Even though it isn't telling, the hero image is inviting and soothing to me, and I would read the back. Okay. Now,
Fired.
obviously, I'm not looking to go to university. That looks like a very stress-free, relaxing day, something I might want to do. So I would mail this and, rip me up and tell me I'm wrong, but that's what I would do.
Okay, well, I like the point that you've made though, right? Because you have what, less than a second to get someone's attention. So you've made a valid point. Just for me, it's not relevant. But if the image is soothing and causes someone to look over to the other side of the postcard to explore their offer, then hey, you know what? In a way, Brad, they've done their job, right?
It would have worked on me, but I'm not everybody.
Well,
So
to me, I just feel like the higher education is such a competitive space. It's extremely competitive. And so, unless this is a piece that's being sent to someone that has actively shown an interest in this university already, you are not communicating to me any of the value proposition of why I would explore or even take the time or the energy or the resources to come and take a tour of this campus, right? Are you sending this to me just because I'm local or because you know that I'm, interested in the university? It's just lacking so much.
I'm hoping they use some sort of targeting and just
Yeah.
didn't
I mean,
blast.
yes, it's clean, but the creative is not relevant, and it's not communicating any value. And being such a highly competitive space, if I'm looking at, 4, 5, 6 different universities that I might take the time and resources to come to have a campus visit, I would like to see something a little more compelling of why I should come do that at your campus, other than I can go kayaking nearby. That's
Yeah.
just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's certainly clean. It's simple. It's purpose driven. I think that this is probably the wrong image for the largest image, as well as I don't know if this is just my screen or if it's washed out on everyone's screen. I'd be interested in seeing the actual
A little
mail
bit.
piece, but it's very whitewashed.
Yeah.
Additionally, on the other side, tremendous amount of real estate, left there where you could have added other things that are more compelling, more photos or whatever. I saw someone call out a trim issue. Again, I don't know if that's the scan of this or there actually was a trim issue at the top. So you've got a printer issue there if it is. But yeah, I don't think I would mail it for those reasons. But certainly see your points around it's clean, it's simple, it's purposeful.
Yeah. I, I think there's a fine line between underselling and overselling. I tend to like to err on the side of underselling. Morgan and I have many debates on this subject when we do our own promotions. Um, to some people, the hard sell is offensive or it pushes you off. I have fallen into that category myself. So I like simple, clean like this, and it gives me a sense of relief to where I can look at it without be like 20% off here, do this by this date. It's like, wow, I feel like I'm at a used car dealer or a fair, a guy who's calling out deals on a walkway. It just gets overwhelming sometimes. Anyways,
I agree with most of the comments, but I could just say for comic relief, the picture shown here would be much improved if the kayakers were having a beer.
possibly, unless you're a non-drinker. Maybe.
That does speak to college life, doesn't it,
Yeah,
David?
it does. That's true if you're looking your college life.
Sure.
I think
Go
if
ahead.
if this is a college piece, I think college. I mean, when you get to that age, there must be so much that hits you in regards to this type of mailer. I think you have to stand out, and I think I'm really hoping this college doesn't have a design course because again, I think they missed the mark. I mean, the text on the right hand side, I don't quite know what justification that is, but I'm trying to work it out. It's not centered, it's not right, and it's a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of with you, Brad. I'm struggling. I like the clean design, and I like that the image is wrong on the front, but it's still I can see the vibe they were going for. But I
Yeah.
think, again, within that college education market, you have to step up. It should, if you're targeting, personalize it. If you're, driving people, potential students, there should be a QR code that leads you directly in to get more info. There should be more value propositions about the college rather than here's a lake, you can have a great time kayaking. If that's their best feature, then I think they need to do a little bit more work on the value props.
No, I agree with you, David, especially when you look at the recent studies that have been shown out there around Gen Zs and younger generations really loving direct mail because of how it reaches them. There's ripe opportunity for personalization and really have this connect with them, knowing that they love getting the mail.
Sure. Yeah. And I like how, Brad, you were speaking about it in a way that was off-putting, but you mentioned do this by this date. And expiration dates are something that I have seen lacking in all of these direct mail pieces, but are such an integral and important part to cause them to act now and get the conversion that you're looking for.
There has to be a sense of urgency. Listen, I agree that you need these things, and if everything was about the art and aesthetics of it, then you may not get any sales. There's very few companies that have been successful at creating sales based on an aesthetic or a vibe without putting things, Apple, Nike, but there are the outlier type companies that operate at an entirely different level than, a university or an auto dealership can. I don't think that they can do that.
Sure.
All right, next, as we get to 14 minutes to the top of the hour, this is the seafood restaurant. Let's see what we got on the other side. BOGO, 20% off. I like that. Scan to order online. Good. Gift certificates, open hours, lots of things to eat and lots of stuff to drink. Okay, let's see what everybody thinks. You guys ready for the seafood poll? Hit it. Tell me what you think. As I suspected. Good, guys. Yeah, this is this covers most of the things that we've talked about that need to be there. This one has got it going on.
Yeah.
And audience really tends to agree. Let's see that you've got a BOGO, you got 20% off, you got gift certificates, you got hours, you got scanned order online. Obviously, they're going to capture your ID then. Not seeing any personalization. They're obviously being timely with dads and grads for June. So that makes sense. If you like seafood, the pictures are enticing. I have to say that I agree with the audience. What do you think they're saying?
I think they say
it's overwhelming.
Mail it.
You got it. Okay, I'm going to end the poll and show it. This is where they voted. I 100% agree. Anybody have any opposing points or strengths that we might have missed on this one?
I can see why they agree, and yeah, I'd probably mail it. But then there's too much going on. Like I said, you got the buy one get one free, you got the 20%, but then the 20% doesn't cover online orders, but yet your big call to action is to order online, which sort of like negates that one. I think for me it's middle of the road. It's okay. I can see it's going to get response, but it still could do better. The imagery on the back doesn't entice me to come into that restaurant. Seafood's not my favorite, but
there's far too much stuff on the back.
Yeah. There's too much going on.
Feature 3 items, not 5. What the hell is that salad thing at the bottom left?
The appliances one, you must agree, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely. I don't know if there's a reason to include I don't know what percent of their menu is. This is, but to include their menu as much as they could take some of that real estate and maybe put a map, the location in there and embed that. Like that would be really interesting. Especially to David's point, if they're going to have a call to action that's online while having a coupon right next to it that doesn't apply to online, then they could create 2 different sides, have one be focused online and one focused with the in-store, like that sort of thing.
I think where you've got the access to data these days, and be able to geo-market, where you've got a restaurant like this, you should be able to Brent's point, there should be a map. there should be, if this is the local piece and they are mailing out to local residents to try and pull the grads and the dads and grads in, then it should be, this is where it is. We're only like 4 miles away. We're 10 minutes away from you. Then I think with the capability of doing, maps, geo-targeting, even personalized maps and say, hey, look, you're only 5 miles away. You're only 10 miles away. You're only 5 minutes away. It's all possible. And it's like a lot of the market needs to like do better. This is okay. And this will be mailed and it'll get some result, but it can do better. And I think that's the piece that I think I take away from a lot of these is that as print service providers, we need to be going back and going, like, I can do this, but actually I could do better for you if you just don't ask me to do it. And what's my paying per thousand for mailing them? If you give me a chance, I can actually sit down with you and we can look at what data you do have, how to use that data, how to use it constructively, and actually deliver a better result for you.
Good. I agree.
Yeah, it has pros and cons, and if the mail pieces previous to this one weren't so terrible, we may be a little more critical of this, but there are pros. They're capitalizing on two different events, Father's Day and graduation. They do leverage an expiration date on their offer. They have their offline to online integration. They're really trying to capitalize on a ton of different revenue streams here and target a lot of different audiences in one place, right?
Maybe too much. Maybe
Yeah, the
than
dads, the grads, we've got gift certificates. They make a great present. Buy online. If you like to get drunk, come on down. We've got tons of this. We've got food. It's just a lot going on here, right? But it's not bad, but it could use some improvement. Agreed.
All right, we got two more to go in 8 minutes. So which one is this? Oh, I think this is the roofing one. And it will be called credit card. So forgive us for our mistake. I'm going to blame it on Morgan, who took
It's
it
my
on.
fault. Totally blame it on me.
All right. So let's see the other side. Okay. Google 5.0, huh?
Mm-hmm. 5-star
All
review.
right, we're launching. We're launching. What do you guys think of this roofing thing? Definitely the picture on the left looks like they need some work. I'm not sure what that middle image is, actually. Are you?
I think the only review was the owner.
Yeah.
Gave himself a 5-star review.
There was only one review. That's all it showed.
No, I think that's probably it.
Oh, they're not showing numbers, right? Yeah. Okay. Good eye. I
Good
wouldn't have
one,
caught
David.
that. Expiration dates. Uh, Honestly, I don't I mean, I obviously get the image on the right. I see that the image on the left is definitely looks like a roof
Like a
problem.
carpet on the roof.
Yeah, is that I don't even know what that is. It almost looks like this side of a dog's face peeking out. I obviously it's some foreign.
I don't know. I don't know.
What is that? But
Well, they're focusing on the problem and the pain point, right? But they're lacking the solution and hey, this is our outcome and I like that I feel they're on the right track here with this 5-star review, but for some social proof, put an actual review of a customer or hey, they did X, Y, and Z for me in 24 hours or whatever. To really communicate the value. This looks rather generic in my opinion, but they do have a way to call, go online, or to scan a QR code. So they have those integrative elements and they've got their expiration dates here, but it's yeah, the photography and the creative design element of it is pretty bad.
I would say mail it. It's got enough to where I know exactly what's going on. That last picture kind of hit it home with the roof leaking and buckets, and there's nothing worse than coming home or waking up in the middle of the night to a leaky roof. That is a dream killer. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it sucks. And I would have just played that up, but you can see this is a pretty, I'd say our second strongest mail it at 69%. So I would agree with this one. I'm not going to be the vocal opposition on this. I mean, other than my point on that middle image, but communication was received.
Sure.
Although I must say, if you've got a leaky roof, you're going online and you're calling someone in 5 minutes. Okay.
Mm.
You're not going to wait till the mail comes and see if there's an offer. So
I think,
hopefully you got this the day before or the week before and you put it on the fridge just in case. But
and I
this
think
is
I think that's something they've missed because I think the photos, yeah, clearly you could do a lot better. I think the photo on the right adds more value than the other two on there because you're trying to work out what it is. I think the visuals can work better, but then you hit the nail on the head, Brad. Like, the relevancy of this, you're going to keep it potentially and stick it on your fridge, which means the QR code. Don't take me to just the website. Give me a QR code that takes me straight into, a booking form, or contact you immediately. Because if and when I need this card, I don't want to have to be scrolling through your website. I don't want to have to get that. Give me an instantaneous way to jump straight in, get you booked out, and get you in. And I think I'd mail it, but again, I would go back and this could work so much better.
all right. Unless anyone's got something else to say, we're down to the final 4 minutes. Let's anybody hold your peace. Here we go. Last one.
Oh, I meant to delete
Yeah.
that. This was one of our interactive campaigns
Wait,
that
hold
I
on.
just wanted to touch on here.
Oh, okay.
And when we were talking about the integration of omnichannel, right? So we do a lot of campaigns where we layer omnichannel or digital ads on top of a direct mail campaign, and on average, we lift the response rate about 23 to 46%. However, if the baseline or foundation of the campaign is terrible, and we're just repeating the same message of a terrible direct mail campaign, you can put as many ads out into the marketing ecosystem as you want. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a good response just because you're leveraging multiple or more channels, right? So the direct mail campaign has to be very strong and solid, and then having a good translation over into the omni-channel creative design is so important at having and achieving a good desirable outcome to an integrated or omni-channel direct mail campaign. So this was a pre-K through 6 school, and this is the direct mail piece over here. They do have a map on their direct mail piece here. And then these were their translating digital ads.
So it ties it together.
It does. It ties it
Multiple
together.
impressions. Yeah.
Right.
All right. I guess we're not voting on that one since we know.
Was
How
there
did
no vote?
how did it work out? Do you have actual?
Yeah, so we have some statistical data in our dashboard on it. They did a test campaign. It performed really well, and they went on to mail 150,000 pieces for 18 schools. They got 453 enrollments at about $6,500 per student. They spent $200,000 on the direct mail, and their first year revenue was just under $3 million. So it just lends and speaks to the power of an effective direct mail campaign that has good creative, good core elements, strong call to action, way to contact them, and then translating repetition into seamless omni-channel design. This is also a very good example, one of the best examples that I could find too, of a DM piece and the translation of the direct mail creative that will trigger that brand recall or that high recognition onto the digital ads. And there's one point I just wanted to make about this as well, and how important actually tracking the response rate to a direct mail campaign is, and from the website and through multiple channels or multiple technologies, because this campaign did not have a clear call to action to call them. It did have a phone number. And as a result, you can see that they only received 5 calls. Now, if you were gauging the efficacy of the direct mail campaign by the number of calls, you would think that this campaign was an epic fail. But because we track how many people on the mailing list go to the website, we could see that 945 people that were identified on the website actually went to the website from the direct mail campaign. So it wasn't a fail. It actually performed very well, but because there wasn't a clear call to action, they didn't call. However, they did have a very high response rate to the website.
Did the DM piece have a QR code on it,
It
Morgan,
did
or is that just a link?
no QR code. Yeah, just
So,
a URL, right? So to your point, David, if they got that high of a response from just having a URL, what if they had incorporated a QR code? And how much higher of a response rate would they maybe have got to the website, right?
Mhm.
So,
Okay, guys, we are out of time. I want to put this slide up with the QR code for all of our panelists. I want to thank them very much. Next month, we will be having a demonstration of our AI product. So I was going to tease it to you today, but I don't want to hold anybody too long. We are very close to our public beta. We are super excited about this. This is my baby. So, but again, thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much for the insightfulness. The audience engagement was fantastic and some amazingly smart and on point comments. We obviously have a lot of professionals out there in the audience too. And let's use our professionalism and our insight to help our advertisers and our clients do better direct mail. We have everybody's agreement on that?
Mhm.
yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. I thank you very much. Have a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye
Cheers,
for
guys.
now.